Family, good morning. It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Today is Thursday. It is January 15th. I hope that you slept well. And as you know, we start this day with positivity and understanding that just being here is a blessing in itself, right? So thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast. Before I begin, I would like to mention that Cecil Hurt, one of the greatest reporters, right? Legendary Tuscaloosa news columnist since 1982. He'll be inducted into the USBWA Joe Mitch Hall of Fame, all right? Hurts joins the selected class that will be recognized for college basketball coverage. Celebrated the Final Four in Indianapolis. Already honored by multiple Alabama institutions, the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame, Huntsville-Madison Hall of Fame, rightfully deserved. And I think of somebody like Cecil, and I got here in 2016, 2017, and Cecil was still covering Alabama at that time. And a true legend and somebody that Saban certainly respected. And I think the way that he covered the team, he went by the beat of his own drum. He wrote like poetry, and it was truly a gift. And I think there's a lot of people that had respect for Cecil and looked forward to his columns and how he covered Alabama football, basketball, and just a truly legendary sports icon, not only through Tuscaloosa, but I think throughout the country. Like, people thought Alabama football, they were wanting to see what Cecil Hurt had to say about the football team. So just want to say congratulations to one of the best to ever do it. There's a plaque. If you go up to the Alabama media room, if you're like where the media is and watching the games, up inside the press box, there's a plaque of that man, and rightfully so. So with that said, welcome to Bama Football on YouTube. This is Wake Up Bama, and I want to start right here with one of the biggest pieces of news, and that is around Yhonzae Pierre. I think sometimes we get so caught up right now from the 2nd to the 15th, who's going to be the next guy to join the team? Is it a transfer portal guy? I want Jordan Seaton. I want Damon Wilson. I want Cam Coleman. Sometimes it's about making sure you got guys that are already on your team that we lock them in and we continue to take care of those guys from a retention standpoint. Retention is very important. And Yhonzae Pierre, I've been telling you guys throughout the last it's been securing Yhonzae Pierre, your best defensive player on the team going into 2026, is hyper important. Alabama was very aggressive. There was other schools that pursued him, and getting a re-sign from Yhonzae was bigger than anything else that we could have wanted in the transfer portal. I get it. We still need to kind of load up on the offensive line, but Yhonzae Pierre leaving, think about that. Think about that headline. It would have been devastating, right? Not only because, a little thin at the wolf position, but losing a player like this, you didn't want that to happen. Following Quay Russaw. By the way, think about this. How good is Yhonzae Pierre? He beat out Quay Russaw when Russaw came back. Russaw didn't want to come back and fight for competition, split playing time. The way that he was playing at the back end of the season, one of the best in college football. So Alabama's defense, and I totally understand this. You're not going to believe the hype about all these guys until the pads start popping, until we start getting through the season. Totally understandable. But let me ask you this. Do you believe in Yhonzae Pierre? Are you happy that he returned? On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is that for Alabama's defense? I would say 10, and I don't vote 10 very often. Getting him inside and back into the roster, monumental. One of the best defensive edge rushers in America. I think that he loads up Alabama's starting 11 on defense. Now, the spring will be about that 2 deep and who can be the guys behind him. I love Justin Hill, and I would imagine that Latham comes back for a 7th year, right? After suffering a neck. So I told you, even this morning, if you're a fan funder, I told you on a video this morning at like 6 in the morning on Wednesday morning. When you live in negative town, negative things happen. When you are positive, positive things happen. And you had Yhonzae Pierre and you had Keon Sabb both return on Wednesday morning. Huge update going into the back end of the transfer portal. With that said, welcome to Wake Up Bama. I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. Wake Up Bama has been really something that I put my heart and my soul into. And I continue to be gracious to you. And I know it's something that you look forward to. It's something that I look forward to doing. If we can get over 500 thumbs up, I think the last podcast had over 800. So you guys have been fantastic. And that really helps me as a content creator. It really does. And if you want to take it a step further, you could become a member by hitting that join button. I really appreciate your consideration. I want to give you a product. Consistency of performance. We always talk about that. Well, you follow Alabama football. You want the best. I want to be the best. I have the dog mentality, and I promise you I'm a machine, okay? So let's continue to work together to build it up, and thank you so much, and welcome to today's podcast. Before I move on from Yhonzae Pierre, I kind of have a couple points of ponder, right? And I think the first thing is he had 6.5 sacks, and he didn't play the entire season because he wasn't a starter at the beginning. Would you agree with me? I feel that watching Miami, watching Indiana, maybe Miami, they committed to pass rush. We need to be sending Yhonzae Pierre more after the quarterback. I want to see more for all the great things that the defense did and the steps forward that they took. I need to see more pass rush. Okay, and kind of looking at the defensive line, I have some questions there. The secondary, I'm going to talk about them in the podcast. Yo, it's ridiculous. The amount of experience we have back there is phenomenal. And I think that could allow you to send a little bit more heat. A lot more heat. I want more pass rush. Do you agree? And will Alabama's kind of depth allow them to kind of rotate fresh pass rushers? Last year, we had a lot of depth. The team, you could rotate guys in and out. Do we have that quality depth this year? That's going to be the biggest question in spring football. And going out of spring football is, how does the 2 deep look? The starters, to be honest, I feel good about the defense. I don't feel great. The defensive line, I have questions. And I want to be honest with you, I do have questions. But the edge, the secondary, I feel really good. Okay? So, Yhonzae Pierre coming in. Absolutely fantastic. Today on the show, we're going to go over Keelon Russell. Did a great interview with 247. You should definitely check it out. Kind of spoke about that quarterback battle. And it's not so much about a battle. It's about kind of the mindset that he has. I cannot wait to see these two go head-to-head, right, as a battle. But also, you look at the Alabama quarterback room, there's so much talent, right? Unproven talent, but we're about to see him. I was able to confirm that Devan Thompkins, about his specific position. I'm going to talk about that as well and kind of clear up some questions because we've kind of been going back and forth, and I got a good update for you, a nugget, if you will. The Bandit depth watch. We need to talk about that. The Bandit is an area of focus, and with Jordan Renaud leaving, let's talk about that, okay? Jireh Edwards confirmed him at safety. I don't know if there was ever a debate that he would play anywhere else, but just kind of wanted to reiterate that and also talk about that electric secondary that's coming back for Alabama. So much experience, right? Also talk about some additional portal offensive linemen to watch. One who is expected, probably 2 that are expected to take visits pretty soon, and a couple more items on the docket as well. Some current portal priorities, right? Kind of like guys I feel Alabama needs to go after in terms of positions. And then on the back end of the show, we're going to go over a couple different items in terms of transfer portal from a larger perspective. Dante Moore, you saw that. Oregon, he's coming back. And then Justice Haynes goes to Georgia Tech for $2 million. Whoa, all that and more today on Wake Up Bama. Okay, so Keelon Russell. Going to be a redshirt freshman, right? You only played in 2 games. Before I start, were you surprised by that? I was. I thought, for whatever reason, I thought he played more. Now, I fully understand why he didn't play more, but it's like, he just played 2 games. I think Austin Mack played 5? Whatever the case is. 247 has a great article with him, and they're discussing kind of the position battle and maybe going to war with Austin Mack. But Keelon Russell doesn't see it like that at all. He views it, he's competing with himself. And I love that mentality because that's how it has to be within your own life. You are competing against you all the time. Can you exercise again, right? Can you push yourself? Can you eat right? Can you perform your job at a better level than you did yesterday? It's always a competition against yourself. Is there anyone out there that is competitive against themselves? Raise your hand. I am. I'm one of those people that is, competitive against myself. I always want to be better than I was the last time, right? And I think the kind of some media storylines have tried to make it like this absolute all-out war, but I don't think that Keelon sees it like that. I don't think that Austin sees it like that. I think they just are focused on self-improvement and getting better for themselves to be better for the team, right? Now, there's competition. They're going to be battling, but I don't think it's like they don't dislike each other. This is a room that has camaraderie. And I don't think it's an enemy situation. I think it's two guys that are coming together to try to win and to try to move the offense forward, okay? I think each quarterback from the article, they're wired for maturity. Keelon Russell is a very mature individual, and so is Austin Mack. And I always go back, and I give so much credit, and he's still in my prayers daily, Keelon Russell, because that young man lost his sister in 2025. And anybody out there that's dealt with the loss, you know that the grieving process isn't an easy fix. I can't even imagine for somebody like that to be able to rebound from an emotional standpoint and continue to grow and develop. And I admire that. No matter how old you are, I admire that. The resiliency of somebody is very impressive. And going through that at a very young age is a tragedy. It makes me sad. But I'm also inspired by it because he continues to press forward, right? There's a lot of times some people aren't able to recover. But that's important as a society. You gotta keep going forward. I know there's a lot of people that we often talk about that are battling with different things. That's a clear example, right? Focus on self-improvement. Focus on yourself and take steps forward. I think there's a lot of fans that just want to see Keelon Russell be the guy. I have to be honest, I fall into this area where I'm curious to see what this young man has. We saw a little bit about Austin Mack, and he's going to develop as well. And we know what he brings to the table. But Keelon Russell, when he gets on the field, he seems like he has this magic about him. And we barely saw him, but in those two kind of previews, there were some plays that he made that I was like, yep, that's what I'm looking for. And now, there wasn't a lot of volume. So we'll have to continue to see these young men develop, but you have two great quarterbacks that are going to go head-to-head. And remember, this is it for the transfer portal. Like, when it ends on the 16th, that's the last day that you can hop in. There's no, like, after spring football, oh, I didn't win the job. No. These are your quarterbacks, okay? So I guess kind of the point to ponder on kind of the quarterback situation is, and I've been really thinking about this because we have not seen this from Coach Kalen DeBoer yet. Is there a situation where he plays each quarterback early in the season? Or whoever he names the starter, is that the guy for the rest of the year? Kind of like it's been the past 2 years. I don't know. I kind of feel like we might see each of them play and figure out who's going to be the guy before we get like deep into SEC play. What would you like to see happen? Do you think it's better to just go with the guy and just ride it out? Or do you want an in-season quarterback competition? I'm really curious to get your answer on that. Austin Mack is a guy that was recruited by Brian Grubb. He's been here. He has a little bit more experience. Oh, man, but Keelon's the guy. What a great quarterback competition that we have. And if you're uncomfortable about competition, just know this. Every company thrives off competition. You get better with competition. That's the only way. That's kind of what makes America great, is like competition, right? Among different companies, among different, anything in life. When there's competition, you ever raced? You ever like, okay, let's say you're running like a 40, right? You ever just ran out there and ran a 40? Have you raced somebody, right? Think about competition. It makes everything better. It makes you hungry, okay? All right. So I was able to confirm 100% about Devan Thompkins' position. Because we've been going back and forth on this, and I had to figure it out for myself. I was like, we need to know. Because I thought with his size, 6'6", 285 pounds, and by the way, if you don't know, he came in from USC. He's a transfer, one of the 12. So he's got, 6'6", 285. It's a little bit bigger than our traditional Bandits, so kind of like a hybrid. And that sounds exactly what he's going to be for Alabama. I think he's going to play both inside, right? And I think he's going to play some Bandit as well. And I think they'll probably figure out where he suits best. I spent some time watching film on Devan Thompkins, and I liked it. What I liked and what stood out to me is because he's 6'6", his arm span is tremendous. So he bats so many balls down, and there was a couple times where he bats a ball down, and somebody's able to catch it for an interception, return it to the house, kind of makes plays. He's able to fight off defenders. He's got those long arms. I think that height gives him a real upside in terms of batting balls. So there's been the only downside that I saw in kind of some reviewing his film and listening to people discuss him is that he might get moved around and pushed around in run game. But I didn't see that on tape, so let's continue to watch that. So I guess my points to ponder here is Devan Thompkins like an every down interior starter, or does he play all the time? Can he become Alabama's kind of next hybrid star? I don't know. Something to think about. Like, what is his upside? Does this guy come in? Is he like an instant impact player? Does he's got some room to grow? Curious to kind of watch that unfold. Really am. And then I think it brings up who else at Bandit, right? Because that's an area where after you lost Jordan Renard, which was still really shocking to me, I didn't expect him to leave. Do you think this is happening? Do you think that like Jordan Renard got a text from like Keon Keeley? And I have no idea if this is true, but I'm just saying, do you think these guys are talking? Yo, man, I got paid $800,000 at Notre Dame. I was only getting paid, $150 at Alabama. Alabama said they can only bump me to $200, bro. There's so much money out here, and you're only going to know how much money when you hit the portal. Like, Bama can't pay. Do you think some of that's going on? This is what, what bothers me is late additions to the transfer portal. Like, why? Could they not? I think either one, my assumption is right that they're talking, or two, I think they couldn't come to some sort of contract negotiation. And three, he's in the portal hoping that Alabama can make an offer so he can come back to the team. I don't know. I think there's a couple schools like that. Like, once you hit the portal, you're done. I think Steve Sarkisian, right, at Texas says, once you go into the portal, that's it. There's no more coming back. I like that, to be honest. Like, make the decision and go. Can't waffle, right? So, who else at Bandit? Well, Fatutoa Henry, Nolan Wilson, and then Caleb Smith. Oh, man. I kind of feel that this is an area where you might need to go. Like, who else is on the transfer table board that you might want to bring in? Maybe there's a target from Kentucky, Javon Campbell. I think he could be a great fit. But I'd also like to see Fatutoa Henry play. His highlights blew me away, and so did Nolan Wilson. Maybe Nolan Wilson becomes a starter at Bandit. He's that good as a freshman. Freshmen play here. If the freshmen are talented enough, they'll play. You know that just as well as I do. Let's talk about real quick Jireh Edwards and that safety position. So, again, I was able to confirm on Jireh Edwards, too. He's a safety. Because people have been asking, even I've been asking, do you think he'll play some Husky? And these aren't, look, we're talking positions in January 15th. But he's a safety, 100% safety. Then I started thinking about it. I was like, man, this is a loaded safety room. I'm going to talk about the secondary in just a second. But this safety room is packed with talent. Right? I mean, let's just think about it. You got Keon Sabb, Bray Hubbard, Zay Mincey, Ivan Taylor, Carmelo O'Neal, and Jireh Edwards. Like, that room is star-studded, right? I think I was on the phone and I was taking some calls. You might hear it in the call-in show portion on this program. And someone said maybe Zay Mincey moved to like a linebacker position. After looking at, I don't know if that makes sense or not, but like it seems to me that Zay Mincey kind of feels like an odd man out here. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. There's just so much talent there. Ivan Taylor's great. He'll be a sophomore. Carmelo O'Neal, I kind of low-key have that as my sleeper transfer in. He's 6'4", 200 pounds. He played 700 snaps at Mercer. So absolutely loaded at safety. Could you imagine, kind of like points to ponder, could you imagine out of all those guys, if Jireh Edwards ends up starting like next to Bray Hubbard? Is there any other combination that you could think that could happen? Could any one of these other guys go to Husky? I know you got Red Morgan over there. I think it adds it's starting to show how much depth you have in the secondary. So let's talk about that secondary. And you know what? It's fine to have rotation, and it's a long season, right? Look at the secondary from a snap perspective. This has to be the most experienced secondary in the nation and most talented, to be honest. Okay, so Zabian Brown will be a junior, 764 snaps last year. Dejon Lee will be a sophomore, 585 snaps. Those are your corners. Bray Hubbard, 816. Keon Sabb, 824. Red Morgan, 355. The wealth of experience compounded on the fact that Mo Lindquist is one of the best in the business in the secondary. Yo, we are loaded. That right now is our only area that is A+. What was this group, number 9? How are you going to pass on this team? I think they finished number 9, right? And, I mean, points to ponder, are they the best in the secondary in the SEC? I think they're the best in the country. And what kind of multiple packages will you see? And will that allow Alabama to send even more pressure, being that they have confidence in the experience in these guys in man coverage, right? Okay. Let's talk about some offensive linemen to watch from the transfer portal. So you got Ethan Fields. He's out of Ole Miss. He's an interior offensive lineman, big boy. That 6'5", 330 range. He's a guard. He'll be taking a visit this coming weekend. And then you have Racin Delgatty, right, out of Cal Poly. He's also going to take a visit. And then Quay McBroom out of Louisiana Monroe is no longer visiting. So looks like Delgatty and then Ethan Fields looked like two targets that Alabama is really zeroing in on. You certainly need 2 more linemen. I take them all, okay? I think we're good on the tackle position for now, right? I mean, there's just no way. I know you're like, what about Jordan Seaton? There's no way that's going to happen. You're not going to be able to get a player like that. I think as much as I would like to have Jordan Seaton, and it would be wonderful, I just think the money is better spread out other places rather than a $4 million tackle or whatever it is. Someone said 2.5. I think it's way up there for Seaton. I mean, all the you know, I don't know, billionaire schools are up there. It's like Texas, Oregon, Texas Tech, right? Like the normal schools. I don't know if he's been forecasted, but that's where I would imagine someone like Seaton goes. So in discussing kind of portal needs, what would you say? What comes to mind? Like, I got Bandit. I got wide receiver, maybe a couple, 3 more wide receivers. I got an interior offensive lineman, maybe another tackle, like some guys that are veterans. What do you think? And right now, Alabama has 12 commitments from the transfer portal. Do we get to 20? Is there really going to be 8 more commitments? There could be. Just because the portal ends on the 16th, that's the last day to enter. You can get portals all the way through spring, summer, right? So what's the magic number for portals? 20? More or less 20 portal additions. I mean, you have 105 scholarships. You don't have to use all of them, but just saying, right? Okay. I found this was interesting. I've discussed this a couple times. I still find it interesting. The last Saban kind of survivors, right? The graduating class would be 2026. So guys who were still here when Saban was, leaving: Edric Hill, Bray Hubbard, Yhonzae Pierre, Connor Talty, Danny Lewis, and then Latham. So it's getting shorter and shorter and shorter in terms of guys that were from Saban. Pretty soon there'll be no more, which is crazy to think about, right? And something I was thinking about during my workout was, wow, that's why this year feels more critical with Coach Keelon DeBoer, because it's all his team now. These are all his guys, right? It's not like carryover Saban players. This and that. No. It's like his guys. These are his quarterbacks. These are his running backs. These are his wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel that this is a really critical year. Just found that interesting. Okay, a couple more things to go through, and then we'll go to the call-in portion. The biggest gump of them all, he calls himself King Gump, is Mark Ingram, okay, who's now in the College Football Hall of Fame. Okay, played 39 games at Alabama, led Bama to 2009 championship, first Heisman winner, right? 1,600 yards, 17 tutties in 2009, now with Fox, okay? What I love about Mark Ingram is, besides his big personality, and he does a great job on Fox, at one time he was kind of, going against Alabama, and he has a great podcast, but he he apologized to Coach DeBoer. And he was like, I'm sorry. I'm accountable for what I said. And they kind of shook it out like men. And he was like, I'm the biggest gump. So he's a real one, always been. And I know that he has so many fans, and he does a really great job. So College Football Hall of Fame. All right. Also, this was wild. So today on ESPN, on Tuesday, Dante Moore was going to announce his decision. And everyone was like, okay, yeah, NFL, duh. So he announces that he's returning to Oregon. Were you surprised by that? I was. Imagine what Dylan Raiola thought. Dylan Raiola, right, transferred out to Oregon. Now Dante Moore's coming back. Do you think that Dylan Raiola transfers again? I kind of do. Holy cow. Where's that guy going to go? So this past year, as you know, Oregon 13-2, college football finalist, lost to Indiana, got drilled by Indiana. 71% completion percentage, 3,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. All right. So what I was thinking about is, how does this impact? I think Raiola will probably bounce out. I doubt he sits. But how does this impact Ty Simpson, right? Because Ty just turned down 6.5 to go to Miami. Okay, do you think that Ty is the second pick in the NFL draft? It's like, man, yo, Ty, you might want to think about this. Okay, everybody knows you love Alabama. You don't want to go to the Jets, bro. You do not. Can you imagine Ty going to the Jets? I don't want him to go to the Jets. I don't think he will. But now with Dante Moore off the board, that's my biggest fear, is going to the Jets. Oh, my goodness. That's terrifying. Will someone inside the comment box walk me off the ledge? Please tell me he's not going number 2 overall, right? I don't think he is. I mean, it'd be good. He probably earned, that's a hell of a payday, $45 million. But I think in terms of your long-term longevity as a quarterback, the Jets are not it. Jets fans don't even like the Jets. I don't know. Someone walk me off the edge. Tell me why Ty isn't going number 2. Okay, also in the transfer portal world, Justice Haynes, Georgia Tech, right? To Georgia Tech. From Bama to Michigan. From Michigan to Georgia Tech. Man, that guy's making money. $2 million, reportedly. When he went to Michigan, because over here we're like, what's he going to do? Great kid, by the way. What's he going to do? He's not him. He went to Michigan. He started running the ball everywhere. 857 yards. 10 touchdowns, 121 carries, 7.1 yards per carry, all right? Georgia Tech, they're starting to get Bama guys. They got Justice Haynes, right? Noah Carter, Jalen Mbakwe, Ionita, all from Bama, right? Interesting. Okay, and let's see what else we got. Couple points to ponder. Will Georgia Tech become one of the tops in the ACC? I don't know about that. But they are good, and I think they've been doing good because of Brent Key. He's done a great job at Georgia Tech. They kind of fizzled out there at the back end. I thought, at one point it looked like they could potentially be a playoff team, and then, all the kind of teams in the ACC kind of had a crash out, and then from the dead, Miami just rose up, and now they're in the championship game. So very interesting for sure. Hey, fam, so did you like my segment? I hope you guys did. Thank you so much. And again, please, can we get over 500 likes, thumbs up? I would really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. As you know, the video is also powered by Sleeper. Get a $100 deposit match up to $100 when you use the promo code, which is tailgate, $20 by just downloading the app. Coming up next is the call-in portion of Bama Football on YouTube's Wake Up Bama. Take calls from all over the country. I hope you guys enjoy that. Definitely get inside the comment box. Let me know what you think. And then live at 10 a.m. on Thursday, where we kind of recap the latest news and kind of set the tone for the rest of the day. So coming up next, call-in show right here on Bama Football on YouTube's Wake Up Bama.
Hello, this is me, Lucas.
Hey, Lucas, what's up, man? I appreciate you calling in. Thanks for joining us. What's up, Lucas? Come with it, bro.
So, I mean, I heard you talking about the Husky in the defensive tackle, and I agreed. I agree with you. We do need some help there, and the biggest loss was yesterday, and I wasn't too happy with that. I wasn't happy when Craig, Russell, James Smith, Keeley. I mean, I was pissed off. I was mad. I told myself, what are we doing? I mean, you would have thought Alabama would have paid these guys to stay, not go out the door. I mean, what our defense going to do now? I kind of understand about the offense, but on your defense, come on now. I mean, I would have paid the get-go after the Auburn game, actually, when we played. I would have paid the guys then to stay, but not let them go out the door. I mean, I think Bama's defense is going to take a step back next year. I really do. I agree with you. The too deep. I mean, I'm concerned about the too deep. I really am.
And don't you agree? Don't you agree, Lucas, that was one of the great things about Alabama last year was that the too deep was so good. And my examples are easy. Tim Keenan went out, boom,
yes.
You had someone step in. You had Quay Russell go out, boom, step in with Yhonzae. You had Damani Jackson on a struggle bus, boom, sub him in for DeJohn. Do you have that same type? Look, are the starters going to be good at Bama? Of course. But look at the schedule. Look at this, the gauntlet of the SEC. You're going to have guys banged up. Do you have that same quality of depth to continue in a very, very challenging schedule?
I don't think you do.
Yeah. Interesting.
I don't think you do.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, Lucas, that you got for us, bro?
Yeah, I got one more. Then I'll let you go.
Okay.
At receiver, I think we need a several receiver. But what we can do, we can move Marshall Pritchett to receiver because he did do receiver too. Move him over maybe to the slot receiving. I won't put him on the outside, but put him in the slot. And so I think you will still be all right in your tight end if you did that.
Man, Marshall Pritchett, that's a big boy, and he did play tight end. And when he got here, he added like 25 pounds or whatever. Yo, his highlight tape was nice. I mean, that would be another really large receiver that you add to a room that has big receivers, right? I mean, Derek Meadows is 6'6". You have Sadarian Morgan, who's like 6'4". So, yeah, big dude for sure, man. I appreciate the call in, though. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right, man. Take it easy. All right. Next up, we got a 318.
Yeah, this is Thaddeus from Louisiana.
Hey, Thaddeus, what's up, man? Welcome on in. Come with it.
What's going on, Kyle? I really don't have a lot to say, but good morning and roll tide. But people just need to calm down. Everybody that's leaving, what you have to do is, just like Quentin HaHa said, look at the production. I like Quay and I like James Smith when they were in there, but Quay didn't play most of the year. His production wasn't there last year. Yhonzae has stepped in and fulfilled whatever he's supposed to be doing. So the rest of them, they coming back. I believe DeBoer, he's going to get Grubb right. He's going to get Pap right. And we're going to pull this thing off next year and hopefully get back to the playoff and make a shot at the run for the Natty.
That is, before you go, bro, I have a question for you. Do you feel that the offense, like, do you have confidence in the offense being that this is the first year that you have a quarterback that is ready to go, that is under, like, their system, that they fully recruited, like Austin Mack, Keelon Russell, whoever it's going to be? Do you think that that's going to help Alabama kind of take a step forward with Ryan Grubb, kind of how Kane Womack's defense took a big jump in year 2?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, because the way Grubb came, I mean, with this being his, first full season, a lot of the players have to get acclimated to the way his way of thinking versus Nick Sheridan and the previous season. So I think they're gonna go in, get back in the lab early and often, and do what they're supposed to do. First full.
All right, thanks for the call, Daddy. I appreciate it, bro.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right, that is calling from Louisiana. All right, next up we got Cody from Crestview. Cody, what's up, bro? Welcome to the show.
Hey, not much. How about you, Kyle?
Good to see you, man. Happy Wednesday.
You too. Listen, can you pull back with the kicking, with the punting and the kicking, and who's gonna kick returns, please? Because I had a hunch. I said, if I want to know who's going to kick field goals, there's only 2 positions I know of that was actually kick returners and punt returners in the heydays, is wide receiver and cornerback. I remember some people would use cornerbacks as kick returners. I know that wide receivers, I know we got maybe like Rico Scott could be a kick returner, because of his fast agility, because lots of your books, if he's going to be on the field as an outside guy, just like, the Cedarian Morgans and Ryan Williams and everything like that, I don't think lots of your books wants to punt return and kick return back. Rico Scott may do that. Or maybe like, I don't know, that new transfer that we got, Rogers or whatever.
Yeah. Put
him on there, or put like we're gonna get, I don't know, put EJ Crowell as kick return as a running back, something like that. But I prefer Rico Scott over that. That's the one part about this. And 2, I don't think don't know this, but that Josh Ford, because he came out from Oklahoma State University. You know who the strength and conditioning coach to OSU was, Kyle?
Go ahead.
Dan Glass, the most. He is pretty much the top paid strength and conditioning coach at $1.1 million. He is the man who trained Des Bryant in that time period. But he stepped down as strength and conditioning coach for OSU. But when Josh Ford was in there, he did with Dan Glass as strength and conditioning coach. So he might be a tough brute, because Dan Glass knows how to strength and conditioning coach people to become more like a built bulk stud.
Yeah.
But more as, I think he'll fit that blocking scheme as a tight end. So that's my second point. I just want to come up here, roll tide. I haven't been on here much, just to let y'all know. But if I may, for you, any thoughts on basically Bandit? Because the reason why is I think Bandit right now needs a lot of help. I wouldn't mind bulking up Jireh Edwards about, some more pounds, and then put him on Bandit.
All right, Cody, I'll answer the other line, man. Good call as usual, bro. Thanks for calling in.
All
right, man. Take it easy.
Right.
Yeah. Jireh Edwards is coming in, and we have added what? We'd have to add, 60 pounds to Jireh Edwards to put him at Bandit? What is he, like 210? Because you want your Bandit like, what, 260, 270? I don't know. You need a Bandit, 100%. Yeah. Man, we've had so far we've had suggestions for Marshall Pritchett to play 6'6", 240 tight end to play receiver, and then we need. I don't think we need any more tight ends. We need receivers, and we need a Bandit, 100%. You find him, send him over here. All right, 3340, you're up next.
Yo, what's up, Kyle? This is Yee from the 3, Montgomery, Alabama, man.
What's up, man? I appreciate you. Thanks for calling in from Montgomery, man. Come with it, bro.
Yeah, so I got a couple quick points, man. For all of my diehard lifetime Bama fans, man, we have to put in perspective what we just experienced with Coach Saban.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think about it. Our favorite team, we've got to witness win 6 national championships. Nobody else is going to be able to say that about their favorite team at all in any sport.
Yep.
Outside of the Jordan era, it hasn't been done. Outside of Tom Brady, it hasn't been done. So we have to respect that and just know that we've experienced something special already. Kalen DeBoer's job was to take a ship that Coach Saban abandoned and get it back to shore. I think he's done that. Now, the standard has changed just a little bit. I think the culture has changed. I think that's a major key in what's going on right now. We're seeing a culture change. Everything, the landscape is pretty much upside down. The kids run things right now, so we have to get used to that and adjust to that. And for the team, I think I love Bray Hubbard and Keon Sabb coming back. Now, the defense did take a step forward from last year, but I think to be a national championship defense like we was back in the Saban days, we have to get better. We missed too many tackles. I think we can get more athletic on the back end in the future once Bray Hubbard and Keon Sabb decides to leave. I think we're limited with their athleticism. Like, they're nice in the box. Keon Sabb, they're like opportunists when it comes to making plays. They're not going to go out and jump a pitch route. They're not going to go out and, cover a deep dig, and make the play. But if the ball is there for the play to be made, they'll make it, But overall, I think they'll be okay. I think the defense will take another step forward overall because, we will have experience coming back. Even though we are losing some people, we're bringing back a lot. And we're going to be returning some veteran players. So just want to get your thoughts on that, man. And, we got to calm down, y'all. We're going to be okay. We just got to calm down.
Yeah, thanks for the call, brother. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling out from Montgomery, man. Take it easy. Good call from Montgomery. I haven't been to Montgomery in a minute. I'm trying to think the last time I went down there for a golf tournament, and this course that I played at, oh, fam, help me out. My Montgomery golfers, it was this course. It was a public course. It was nothing fancy. I know there's some really nice course. It wasn't like a Robert Trent Jones. It was a course where literally it was the tightest fairways I've ever played. It was like 40. The fairways must have been like 40 yards apart. What course is this? In terms of you calling in from Montgomery, people are definitely nervous, right, about the direction. Again, still reaming from that loss. Think about it. I was talking to a friend this morning. Alabama was pretty damn close to being 13-2, right? That Florida State game, that was terrible, and then that Oklahoma game, right? That's a big difference from 11-4. So if you zoom out, you did take a step forward. The defense is returning a lot. New quarterback, who knows? You have guys. This is where I guess I get a little bit nervous. Is just the offensive line, right? Is like, can this offensive line really step up if they're unproven? That's why I'm like kind of waiting to see if you get somebody that is a little bit more veteran experience, or we just go in with a young crew and this is it. Whereas retooling on the offensive line and we're good to go. But the schedule's challenge. The schedule's always going to be hard. Have you seen this year's schedule? We pulled it up last night. I think the schedule this year is harder than the schedule was this past year. All right, 346. Hey, what's up, man? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, how's it going? I'm sorry I'm breaking the rules. I'm breaking the rules, Kyle. I'm sorry. And I called in yesterday. I just had to call in today. I got 4 questions. But first of all, how you doing, Kyle? How are you doing today?
Doing great, man. Thanks for calling in, Jay. Come with it, bro. What are your questions, bro?
Before I'm just do a rapid fire. So I'll let you answer on the line so other people can call. My first question is, first is a statement. So the statement, I think Keon Sabb can be good at returning punts. In my opinion, I feel like he's pretty shifty. But my first question is, who do you think could be the H-back in order to create, help the offensive line to create holes? You know, I don't think we're teaching our offensive line Coach Cap is teaching the offensive line to pull up the guard, to pull up the 4 to create the holes for the running backs for the running game. My second question is, who do you think can be that tight end that can fill the void for a wide receiver?
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, Georgia has the best tight ends, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Last past couple of years, Rob Bowers and Austin Delp and stuff like that. And yeah, that's that one too. That's it. Appreciate you, Kyle.
Okay, take it easy, Jay.
That was great.
Yep, no doubt, man. All right, number one, I'm going to say no to Keon Sabb returning punts. I think that our punt returner needs to be somebody that is like ultra dynamic. So I'm going to go with like a Lazier Brooks. I don't mind maybe the Noah Rogers might be interesting. If you watch his highlight tape, he's like a twitchy cat. Like the guy can like make you miss. He'll jump over you. That guy's hurdling more people than Najee. I'm serious. So I like that point. And then the H-back, earlier, I think Cody was bringing up the fact that the strength and conditioning coach has Josh Ford, right? Maybe Josh Ford, he's like 6'6", like 250? You need an H-back, a really good H-back. I would imagine you have him as an H-back, and then your kind of more balanced tight end is Caleb Edwards, who I think will be he's already really good. And Marshall Pritchett and Max Sutter, those guys are going to be good too. I like those tight ends, and I think the bigger tight ends, we got enough tight ends. But I am curious about Josh Ford and how they utilize him. I would imagine he's kind of like an extra blocker, though, right? Back to the phone lines. We got a 301. 301, we lost you. Call back. 256. Hey, welcome.
Hey, what's up, Kyle?
What's up, man? Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
I'm Jeremy from Huntsville, Alabama.
All right, Jeremy, what's up, man? Thanks for calling in from Huntsville. Go ahead, bro.
I would like to make a few points about the defense and kind of see what you think about it.
Yeah.
So I know that we have a lot of depth at DB, like a lot of 5-star and 4-star talent. But outside of, I think Sabb returning is actually a really big deal because I don't think we really have somebody back at safety outside of Avon Taylor. I don't really trust any of our depth pieces, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
When Xavier Mincey sees the field, he doesn't play with a lot of awareness. He gets a bunch of flags, commits a lot of penalties.
Yeah.
I would like to see Xavier Mincey actually be moved to an inside linebacker. I'd like to see him pack on some weight and be moved to linebacker. And as far as the Bandit position concerns, I don't really think we have anybody in that room right now that can make a giant impact.
Mm-hmm. That's inside backer, are you talking?
Yeah, I would like to see Xavier Mincey put on maybe 20, 30 pounds. I know you know who Sonny Styles is from Ohio State?
Yeah.
Well, he was a strong safety when he committed to Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
But he put on about 20, 30 pounds, started playing inside linebacker. I would just like to see I think Xavier Mincey isn't a strong safety.
Zay, it's interesting, Jeremy, you bring up kind of Zay Mincey, because I think like he might be. I kind of agree with it. He might. I don't necessarily agree he could be moved to linebacker, but I do agree he's kind of like an odd man out. I feel with if you're here, if you have Bray coming back and you have Keon Sabb coming back, where's he going to play? He can't play Husky. He can't play safety. He's not going to beat those guys out, right? And then you have, what is he going to do? Move to Husky? Well, he can't beat out Red Morgan, or even if maybe they somehow put Jireh Edwards there. I don't know. That's something to think about. Because Zay Mincey's already a pretty big dude. What is he, like 6'3", maybe like 210? I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I even, think about maybe him moving to like linebacker. I thought if anything moving him to Husky, but I think the secondary spots are all loaded. So anything else you got, Jeremy?
As far as the defense goes, I think we're the most experienced DB room like in the country right now.
For sure.
And I think that as far as our defensive line concerned, I really like all the talent we have on defense, but I don't think that Kane Womack is an amazing play caller. And what I mean by that is he builds a scheme around this defense, but he's not willing to lead the scheme. Like that traditional, like 4-5 defense he plays, it's just he doesn't ever play man out of it. He always plays too high out of it. And when he does decide to blitz, he's blitzing on like 3rd and 20, 3rd and 1. He's not blitzing when he needs to blitz. Like quarterbacks who have like a high IQ and can read coverages, he's not making any smart blitz packages.
Yeah, I think I would certainly I'm excited that Yhonzae Pierre is coming back, right? But I think when you look to kind of how Alabama utilized the pass rush, did they? I felt they could have sent more pressure, and I think you definitely have to commit more to getting pressure on the quarterback. Like Miami is a great example of that. You watch how their pass rush is coming after you, and that's going to be one hell of a matchup. Is seeing Miami's pass rush against Indiana's offensive line, right? And how they kind of, can battle in that sense, because Miami, their pass rush is relentless. I would like to see, and does Alabama have those type of guys to be able to send that type of pressure? I know a lot of you calling for Devan Thompkins to be the Bandit. We're diving into that because I'm wondering that about as well. Anything else, Jeremy, before we go to our next caller?
No. Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, take it easy, bro. All right, good call out of Huntsville. All right, we got Mike out in Choctaw. Mike, welcome to the show, bro. Come with it.
Hello, big world. Hey, Kyle, do you know what the largest event in the history of the state of Alabama was? The largest event ever in the history of Alabama?
No.
It was the funeral of Paul Bear Bryant.
Wow.
When Paul Bear Bryant's funeral happened, I was a kid. I was about 12 or 13 years old. The interstates were jammed from one state line to the other.
Wow.
But you look it up, it's the biggest event in the history of the state. That's how much we love football then and now, how much we love our team.
Wow.
And on a side note, we're a major brand, dude. We ain't going nowhere. We're not going to fall off the face of the earth. With that being said, the reason I say that about Paul Bear Bryant, the same thing played out back then, man. I was a little kid remembering that, after Bear Bryant left, we got Ray Perkins that was actually a Bama man. I think he played wide receiver, for Bama. But people thought the world was over then, too. So I think it's just a natural cycle of college football. But the largest event in the history of our state was the funeral of Paul Bear Bryant. Y'all can Google that one, kids. But, hey, another thing, too, well, Kyle, I was reading in the national news, the New York Post. You know T.J. Finley, right, the quarterback? He's been played for different teams in the SEC.
Yeah.
I was reading where the dude is on his seventh team now. Yeah. He just transferred to Incarnate Word in San Antonio. He's on his 7th team. So you know what that tells me, dude? He's never going to probably make in the NFL, never going to make it in the NFL. He's just a lifer college football athlete, a good athlete, I'm sure. I mean, this is all he's got. Mm-hmm. So this is how he's going to make his money, I guess. But his 7th team, dude. I mean, there's just so much to look into that as far as team loyalty, why people transfer, what the situation is. And he's had some success somewhere. But yeah, man, That's 17, dude. That blows my mind. And one more thing to ask you real quick. I'll let you go. Just ask you.
Yeah.
On a scale from 1 to 10, what's the chances of Miami beating Indiana?
Like a 3. Does that sound fair? 3?
A 3. That sounds fair, and I probably agree. I'd say 3. I might go 4. I might go 4 because Miami does have the good defense and the experienced quarterback, and they got a running game. So I'd probably go maybe probably a 3. You're probably right, man, to be honest with you. I'm sold. All right, Kyle. You have a good day, man.
Take it easy. All right. Mike down in Choctaw. Good call. 251, you're up next. Yeah, does anybody have Miami winning this game? Does anyone have Miami beating Indiana? Yeah, that's a good question. Scale of 1 to 10, what are the chances Miami beats Indiana? I don't know. I think it's going to be a great game. I think, what is it, 8.5 right now? Is that what it is? I think that so does Indiana win by 10, basically? I guess, right? I guess so. That's gonna. Are you excited to watch this game? I know it kind of hurts that you're not watching Bama, but I'm interested to see if this Indiana team can finish undefeated. I would have never thought in this climate that a team would finish undefeated, but here's Indiana on the brink of it. All right. All right. 251.
Hey, Kyle, what's going on?
What's up, man? Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Man, this is JD from Pritchard, Alabama. Long time listener, first time caller, first time being able to get through.
Appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you so much. Welcome to the show, man. Come with it.
Man, so much you can talk about, man. I really don't even know where to start. I mean, the Bama faithful, they want to get rid of the boy. But my question is this. If you get rid of him, who you going to get? They talk about all this, we got to pay the players who we want to get. You get rid of the coach, you're going to have to pay him his buyout. Then you're going to have to pay a new coach. So that means money going to get cut into that for paying players. So then what? I think Tide faithfuls need to give the boy a chance. I mean, he made the playoffs 2 years. He didn't make the playoffs 2 years, but in the second year he made the playoffs. And then my thing with the OC and the DC is like they started off, Grubb was the man, Womack wasn't. Then somewhere in the middle of the season, it flip-flopped.
Yeah, it was weird.
You know what I mean? People like to beat Womack up about the defensive scheme he run, but if you look at it, man, towards the end of the season, he did make adjustments. If it wasn't for that defense doing what they need to do and Womack making them adjustments, we might not even been bowl eligible.
100%.
And then another thing, like I said, it's so much to talk about, man, that people like to beat up Ty throughout the season. Ty was our toughest competitor. He had the most heart and was a real true Bama player. He did what he had to do. He was the toughest player in the Florida State game. He got hit in the mouth, kept getting up, kept playing.
What about that game against Auburn where they hit him 7 times in the helmet?
Exactly. And he still got up, brushed the shoulders off, finished the game, went into the SEC championship game. I felt like he was in concussion protocol, but he still showed up, and he even gave us a chance during the Rose Bowl. He played as long as he could, so he was a tough competitor.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what he's going to do, when he get to the NFL. But like I said, man, it's so much to talk about with this Bama football stuff. I ain't going to hold your line up because I finally got through. So I'm going to try to get through more times than not. And keep doing what you're doing, man. You're very informative. I love all the information that you're giving us. And roll Tide.
All right, man. Take it easy, bro. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, good call from JD out in Pritchett, right? Alabama. All right, yeah. Call line is open, 205-850-1994. I was just looking at the NFL draft, right? It's like where will Ty be drafted? Let's see. NFL draft order, all right? Just looking at it a little bit ahead. Okay. All right, this is ESPN. I just brought this up. So, because I'm thinking, like, man, you imagine poor Ty? He dodges all this stuff and then ends up, he won't be the second pick, right? I mean, clearly, look, biggest need quarterback. So, Fernando, does he go over here? I think that's pretty much a lock. Fernando going to Vegas, right? The Raiders. Okay. And then Dante Moore, man, you imagine getting drafted to the Jets? Are you serious? Look, but even Arizona, look, biggest need quarterback? Does Ty go number 3 to Arizona? Huh. Man. Okay, let's see. Tennessee, they need a playmaker. Okay. Giants, no. Oh, my goodness. The Cleveland Browns, these guys. They need to draft. Why? Look at the quarterbacks. I really hope that he doesn't go here, right? Shedeur Sanders, isn't that going to be their quarterback? All right. Not Washington. The Saints, wow. Oh, Tyler Sloat, this is going to be their guy. That kid's good. Get him. If you're drafting fantasy football, draft Tyler Sloat. I'm telling you. If you can get him, that guy puts up points. Kansas City, no. Ooh, how about Miami? Yeah, Steve, I just don't think they're going to go with another quarterback over there because of Cam Ward. Cam Ward started playing a little bit better towards the back end. The Titans just need a lot, right? I don't know. Whoa, the Titans, man. I had some of their guys on my fantasy team. Man, those guys are just not very good. All right, let's see who else we got. Dallas, no, he's not going to Dallas. Yeah, Rams. See, in the best case scenario, all teams need quarterbacks, right? The best case scenario would be like Ty to go out here to like the Rams. The Rams can win. The Rams can win games. This is a good team. They got a great coach, right? I mean, the Dolphins could be interesting because you have weapons to work with on offense. You probably make an immediate impact here. I don't know. I'm just talking like where will Ty go? Who knows? I don't know. All right, fam. Well, thanks for calling in today. I appreciate you guys, calling in the show. It's always fun to take your calls and to talk about Alabama football. I think today is more of a celebration type day. Hey, family, thank you for watching the call-in portion. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, thank you very much for all the support on Wake Up Bama. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your Thursday. I will see you at 10 a.m. sharp as we kick off another episode of Bama Football on YouTube live right here at 10 a.m. Central Time. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on this beautiful Thursday, January 15th. Kyle Henderson, and this is Wake Up Bama.